$75,000 last year, having lived in California for most of the year, live here now, are not claimed as a dependent, and filed 2020 taxes before October 15th, 2021. $600 for people who qualify. If you file jointly, your combined income would need to be less than $75,000, plus another $500 if you have dependents. Does a dependent just mean a child, or are there adult dependents factored in?
Yeah, there are others who can qualify, and it gets a little technical.
Everybody, millions of people may be able to claim the stimulus checks right now, and it's worth around $1,500 per person. You definitely want to continue watching this video because we get into the most important stimulus check information that everybody has to know. So, here's what you need to know, everybody, around the fourth stimulus check. So this includes those of you that are on SSI, SSDI, or even low income. The lawmakers have announced that the fourth check is going to go out to eligible people. You have to be sure to qualify for this in order to receive the money. Now, the deadline to file a federal tax return with the IRS is actually the middle of this month. And so this is important because if you don't file taxes, you cannot receive the stimulus check that's being sent out in December. Over 9 million Americans are still eligible to claim this unclaimed stimulus fund. The 2021 Recovery Pay Credit, the Child Tax Credit, the Earned Income Credit, and other credits have all been filed on your income tax return. However, if you missed the filing deadline, you will not receive the money. There was no penalty for refunds after the initial April 22 deadline. But if you were one of the various tax benefits and filed your 2021 federal income tax return before the November 15 deadline, and still haven't received the check, well, the IRS may be still processing a return for you. Individuals whose income is below $12,000 and couples whose combined income is below $25,000 are eligible for the Recovery Pay Credit, which covers any missing money from 2021 that may have been missed, and the Child Tax Credit as well. Families can claim the missing stimulus money on the Child Tax Credit even if they received half of the monthly payments of 2021. So this law for the Child Tax Credit is for people that are childless workers, and there were also changes that can help the low and moderate income families with children. The credit can be as much as $1,500, everybody, for workers with no qualifying children at all. Many New Yorkers are also waiting for an economic relief check from the State Department of Taxation and Finance. The state began mailing the relief payments, averaging approximately $270 per resident. And around October 13th, most residents would have had their checks by October 31st. So the acting commissioner of this said that we're delivering these relief checks to hardworking people in New York who've been feeling the pinch of inflation. The average payment is about $270 for each recipient, which will help address rising costs associated with crisis and inflation. Officials have also noted that some people may receive their checks and stimulus money this October and next year as well. If you did receive payments in October, well, know this: the State Department of Taxation and Finance are working on this. In fact, for instance, the payments evolved from a 2021 plan for larger stimulus checks up to $2,000. It goes out to essential workers who stayed on the job, and sponsors of this bill have said that more targeted payments would be burdensome and required workers to apply for it. Now, payments could have been delayed for months or even years as a result. Supporters of the bill have said that directing the money to low-income families would help ease the sting of rapid hikes in expenses like rent and gas and even groceries. And now the payments and plus administrative costs are expected to amount to nearly $150 million. But know this: according to officials, there may soon be relief for victims whose SNAP benefits were stolen. So far, SNAP is helping many people out. And now, in the state of New York, residents enrolled in the SNAP program will receive the maximum allowable level of food benefits for November and a supplemental allotment. According to the press release from the governor, the Supplemental Emergency Assistance Program helps people with SNAP. And the governor in Hawaii also signed a 5th emergency proclamation extending supplemental nutrition assistance programs, and this benefits people in Hawaii. He said food insecurity is just one of the lingering effects of the crisis, and SNAP benefits provide families in the state with nutritious food. This emergency proclamation ensures food security through the holidays. He has also said that an emergency proclamation in place for the SNAP benefits since the start of the crisis has been extended several times, and people in the states like Colorado, California, and New Mexico can also get the boosted benefits from their state governors. Let's not forget about this, because the Biden administration is now fending off several challenges to a program that will cancel student debt. But still, the U.S. job market remains healthy as fewer people applied for unemployment benefits last week. And the total number of Americans collecting unemployment has actually increased again to 1.5 million people. I'm not sure what this is, everybody, but President Biden obviously must do more for the American people and send out stimulus payments before the end of the year. If he doesn't, well, let's just say people are going to be in big time trouble. It's not what we want to see. We have a ton of big news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI payments. Continue watching this video to never miss out on this. It has been confirmed that there are still billions of dollars in stimulus money available by Americans this year. Lawmakers in Congress are urging that everybody apply to receive additional crisis aid from these relief payments. Anywhere between $500 and $1,500 will hit most residents of New Mexico's bank accounts over the next 5 months. The free money from the state government comes after New Mexico lawmakers passed 2 separate economic aid packages this year, amid record oil revenues and rising cost of living, including high gas prices. The Special Sessions House Bill 2 lays out either $500 or $100 payments, $1,000 payments for New Mexico residents that will be split into 2 parts. How much you will get, though, depends on your tax filing status. And heads of households, surviving spouses, married individuals filing joint returns will receive a total of about $1,000. Individual filers and married individuals filing taxes separately will get a total of $500. Again, folks, those payments will be split into 2 parts. The first payment is supposed to come as soon as possible. The legislation formally outlines its delivery as no later than June 30th, 2022. Folks, joint filers will receive $500 for the first payment, single filers will receive $250 for the first payment, and the second payment of the 2-part rebate will come sometime in the month of August. As with the first payment, how much you get depends on filing status. Joint filers will get $500 and individual filers will get $250. State lawmakers decide to include any income limits in House Bill 2, meaning the state will provide cash payouts to people regardless of how much money they make. If you don't make enough money to file taxes, you can still get some cash from the state. House Bill 2 provides a so-called relief payment to fill in the gaps. There's also an application process and a limited amount of cash that the government will send out. Relief payments for non-tax filers are on a first-come, first-served basis, and they will only last until a $20 million fund is exhausted. Applicants will be required to give a Social Security number or individual identification number to the state for proof of identification. The relief payment, folks, will be the same size as a 2-part rebate. $1,000 will go to households of married couples or single individuals with 1 or more dependents. For households of single individuals without dependents, the payment is $500. To get a relief payment, if you meet the requirements, you have to fill out an application. And the department is planning on announcing the application process within the next few weeks.
Back to fundamentals, which is, great companies, but profitable growth. There's got to be a way to get to profitability and cash flow, something that Carl has been focused on all the time. And so, for the most part, we're seeing our portfolios holding up very well. Our first quarter, we're seeing real resilience in our portfolio, and our platform continues to pivot and look for opportunities. So I view this as a healthy correction. Clearly, it's going to take time to play out, but these types of corrections create opportunities as well.
They do. I know.